I'm right about a lot of stuff. And it's painful. It's painful because being right is not a good thing in life. Believe me when I tell you this. Being right is a problem because that means you got to tell people the truth. And if you tell people the truth, they don't want to hear this. People do not want to hear the truth. Remember what I'm telling you. I know this may sound like a shock, but nobody wants to really hear the truth. They like these things. Oh, I don't know what the word is. They like euphemistic nonsense. And when you tell people something, they get very upset because, as you know, most people are into, when it comes to politics in particular, it's like a team. It's a fan club. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. My assessment of what's going on. And whether you like it or not, that's a different story. As I've told you, I love this president. I think he's doing a great job. But keep an eye on who's not going to be here coming up. Keep an eye on how many people are not going to be able to handle this. A lot of folks he's known from, business world and the private sector. And he's known them for years, and that's great. But don't be surprised if they don't pull a Vic Ramaswamy and say, screw this. Oh, that was because he and Elon worked. But what I'm telling you, do you want to hear the truth? Do you want to hear the truth? But all of a sudden you walk into something and you're saying, I am dealing with Lavrov and Russians and I'm into diplomacy. Do you know what diplomacy is? With people who have been, seriously? Let me tell you something. Diplomacy is getting what you want and not letting the other people think they were hosed. It's a very simple thing. We're going to talk about that. Oh my God, I got stuff. Ukraine and Israel and Pam Bondi at the DOJ and the equality model, the thing Mrs. L did, the Tesla's blowing up, the chemtrails is in the news. We're going to go through it very, 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 very quickly. And I want you to hear something which is very, very important. Somebody said, I was playing you some very important things about money. People think that, the economy is great. No, it's not. It's better. It's getting better. A lot of people are saying, I'm not the tariffs are. Do you know what happens with food speculation? Do you know what happens with this? So there's a brand new deal from our friends at preparewithlionel.com. And somebody this morning said, it's fear mongering. This is what I've got to deal with. This is what I'm telling somebody something and they're saying fear mongering. Fear mongering. What? Listen, if you're watching this, consider yourself warned. Food prices are about to explode and the time to prepare is now. Listen, go to preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com and secure your 4-week emergency food supply now while supplies last. With new tariffs, listen to me, with new tariffs slamming the global market and inflation spiraling, your grocery bill is about to skyrocket. When the crisis hits, shelves will be empty, and those who didn't prepare will be left desperate. History proves it. Every major economic collapse, every supply chain disruption, the first thing to go is food. You do not want to be waiting in government lines, hoping there's enough left for you and your family. This 4-week emergency food kit delivers over 2,000 calories per day, ensuring you have the nutrients you need and your family needs to weather the storm. It's fortified for survival, packed in rugged, long-term storage containers, and can last up to 25 years. So when disaster strikes, you'll be ready. Order today, and you'll get 4 free 72-hour food kits. That's 12 extra days of meals at no cost. The regular price is $346.80, but right now, you get it for just $289. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to preparewithlionel.com, and lock in your emergency food supply before the real panic begins. Our good friend, by the way, Pilgrim Media says, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I wonder where I heard this before. Thank you, Pill. Now, let's start off in no particular order or reason or fluid or any. I'm just going to tell you what I've written down or what I want you to note. And invariably, somebody's going to be very upset about this because I live in a world where I don't fit in, and I try my best to understand what it is that people find interesting. Go on YouTube when you get a chance, not now, to trending. What's trending? You will not believe what is trending. You will not believe it. Let me start off with today something which I have been sending to everybody that I know, especially friends of mine who are teachers. This is the best. I just caught this in passing on X. You must try X. You must. If you're not into X, you're not paying attention. This is a teacher explaining her problems with kids. I want you to listen very, very carefully because this isn't just kids. It's us. And remember, kids grow up. So listen carefully and let's break this down.
I think that you guys don't know what's going on in education right now. That's fine. Like, how could you know unless you were working in it? But I think you need to know. So here's
by the way, what this is a clip form. This is where they take all the spaces out because somehow people don't like spaces. So I just want to let you know this is the form.
I think you need to know. So here's exactly what it's like right now working in public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored.
Let me stop right there. Let me say, this is the most important issue, the most important statement, or important, as people say. Listen.
Public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored.
No ability to be bored. Say it, sister.
Whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from
this is it right there. When you say they live on your phone, you don't understand what that means. You might have a phone, but you have a phone when you were an adult. You weren't raised on a phone. You weren't from the beginning of your nascent life. You weren't put on a phone. You found the phone later, and the camera, and everything, all of the accoutrement that provide such, okay?
No ability to be bored whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from the minute their eyes wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Because they're in a constant state of dopamine withdrawal at school, they behave like addicts. They're super emotional, like the smallest thing sets them off. Yes. And when you are standing in front of them trying to teach, they're vacant.
This is the best thing.
They have no ability to tune in if your communication isn't packaged in short little clips or if it doesn't have like bright flashing lights. That's actually the way harder part for me than just the outright behaviors, is just being up at the front, talking to a group of kids who have their eyes open, they're looking at me, but they're not there. They're not there. And they have a level of apathy that I've never seen before in my whole career. Punishments don't work because they don't care about them. They don't care about grades. They don't care about college. It's like you are interacting with them briefly in between hits of the internet, which is their real life. I've seen some TikToks recently where teachers are getting a lot of hate, like for not adapting to the kids or punishing them or whatever. And I just gotta say, like, I can tell you with absolute certainty, it is not the teacher's fault. It might be the parents' fault. It might be our capitalistic society's fault, but it is not the teacher's fault.
I cannot tell you how this has to be and must be committed to memory. Cut Up Chatter says, I was very angry when I first learned, but I stuck with discovery after shock faded. I could never stop studying the malevolent and false understanding of reality. We listened to Jeff Rent. Where is he around still? No, I'm talking to Chatter here. Remember Jeff Wrench with the hair? Jeff Wrench you're right. I remember those days, the days of Alex and even Art Bell. Those were fun days. He had a very soothing way of speaking. And thank you. Let me tell you something right now. This is it. The other day, Mrs. L spent from morning until 1 o'clock or so for most of the school day, going from class to class. I'm not going to say where, but speaking to kids and teachers regarding, what would you say, grooming, trafficking? What would you? Digital safety. Digital safety, trafficking, and one pill can kill. And unless I was there with her, I'm doing my bit, so to speak, by helping. She is the key, but we're bringing in food, wonderful desserts provided for by the wonderful people at Goya. God bless these wonderful, because we're Goya people because of the beans, everything. I mean, the foods are terrific. Anyway, I could last no time there. I don't know how teachers do it. I don't know how people do it. Listen to me right now. We are not going to survive as a society if we don't pay attention to what's happening now. My 8th grade beat us. I didn't get a dopamine hit. Did they? Were you really beaten? I was never hit once. I never saw anybody hit. Beating is bizarre. I know you're trying to be funny, but I hope you don't think that's not going to help, especially with a kid who's not really with it. But thank you. I know one particular teacher who said, try to explain fractions to somebody who's looking at you like dance, do something, flash lights, do something. I don't know, fractions. The best one is nothing scares you. I have no life. I have no dreams. I have no college. I have no nothing. I live in the internet. Let me explain something to you. And I realize I'm wasting my time. And not necessarily with you, but just in general. This is a subject that doesn't get anybody's attention. I would like to tell people what I have known in this is my 38th year since my first actual days on the radio. 38 years ago, what I've learned about how to get people's attention. Do you know that when you do YouTube, do you know what they tell you to do? The number one thing, they always say, you got to have a good thumbnail. A thumbnail. A thumbnail. Forget what you're saying. A thumbnail. You got to have a thumbnail. Cut Up Chatter says, when I studied early education for my degree in 1998, they said we had to teach with constant activity, no direct learning by choice. Wow. I could not be a teacher. I would have to have only the smartest of the smart of the smart, and I would probably still be waiting for them because I don't know if they even exist, because we don't put any particular focus on that. But looking at this, have a nice thumbnail, something that's like that Mr. Beast. Hey, have a snazzy title. The top 3 things to look out in your poop. Put in poop somehow and they go crazy. I was reading something in Daily Mail about how it was called fecal transplantation. I've told you this a million times. The headline said, I had stage 4 colon cancer until I found this disgusting thing that saved my life. It wasn't disgusting. It was fecal transplant. and people's lives are changed, especially people with C. diff. And this is where we live. We live in an infantile world. Now, I love a good flatulence joke, but that's not the total message. I love it because of the fact that it is such. I like to giggle at stupid things, not all the time. I like to give it a certain panache to it. I've learned that do not expect people to understand Ukraine. I was listening today to my good friend, Judge Napolitano and Pepe Escobar, and I almost wept. And I'm saying, I love this. I love this topic. I'm fascinated. I love IR, international relations, and what's going on in Ukraine. Never going to do it. Never going to do it. Nobody cares. Cut Up says, you have me screaming. I said, great hair. You had me screaming. I had great hair. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but thank you. Pilgrim says, meritocracy is the order of the day. Am I right? The order of the day? It's not an order. I think it would be nice. But thank you. As I was listening today, I'm realizing nobody understands this. The most important message I could give you to Witkoff. And Witkoff, God bless him, 1 minute there, he's doing his thing and he's working with it. And then he's talking to Lavrov and Putin. Do you know? Oh my God. They're like the professional. This is diplomacy on steroids. Did you hear? Oh God. Somebody was saying, Marco Rubio. This is a deal. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. What do you mean? This is Putin saying, why do you want a ceasefire? I'm winning. I've got Kursk, surrounded. They're giving up. I'm winning. I've won. Why do I, what are you trying to tell me? Why? To be nice? This is the way you do? I mean, it just blew my mind. And people are thinking, oh my God. Because we had in the old days people like Kissinger. Kissinger, say what you want. He knew how to do it. Diplomat. Who do we have now? This jerk off John Bolton with a walrus stash. Oh my God. It's like having a flashy thumbnail. It's like having a flashy thumbnail. I mean, this is the idea. I'm going to a guy who's winning. I'm saying, all right, ceasefire. Why? When you go, somebody's got somebody hostage theoretically, you say, all right, give it the, why? Because what you're doing is wrong. Cut Up Chatter said, I made my Job Corps class read a book out loud, and they ganged up and fired me. I was the law in my class. Gee, many students graduated and loved me. You're right about that. People will ultimately love you if you show them discipline, which is a way of saying attention. They love attention. They love attention. There was an issue right now regarding Israel, and that's a waste of time. Pilgrim says, did you watch Trump trolling Canada? It's his shoot. It's his shoot. No, I did not. We'll get to that in a moment. But thank you. Israel. Waste your time. This guy came to our country and he needs to be deported because he's siding with Hamas. Don't even bother. Just do like this. Okay. A woman, I guess a woman in Australia picked up a baby wombat. Did you see this? I wasn't sure what a wombat was exactly. I remember years ago, but now I see there's a wombat. So she picked up a baby wombat. And they said, oh, no, don't do that. Why? Well, because first of all, the baby wombat will have your smell on it. And the mother may reject the baby wombat. And more, she was an influencer. And by the way, aside from that, we want your ass out. And they deported her. they deported her for picking up a wombat. Well, if you can deport somebody for picking up a wombat, you can deport this guy for basically saying something which is not illegal, which other people are saying. And I don't even expect anybody to even understand that. Because there's one thing I've learned about this country. Do not expect people to understand the principle behind it. They don't understand it. Don't expect this. It's the principle. They don't know what the hell that means. My rules, your rules. For me and not for thee. Okay. Next. This is the part where I'm going to lose half of you. And I want to sit down with Mr. President Trump, come in this on my special phone and say, Mr. President, yeah. How long do you think Elon's going to stay with you on this one? What, 4 years? Is he going to be with you for 4 years? I don't think so. Do you want him for 4 years? I don't think so. What the hell is he doing? We doze 1 minute and then he's not, and then you're taking the kid on the airport, and then this. What are we doing with what's the long plan with Elon? I don't know. What if he leaves you one day? What if he says, you know what? I found somebody else. I'm moving on. How are you ready for that one? Because remember, Vic Ramaswamy was the hottest thing, and you can't even remember, you can't even pronounce his name. He's gone. They come and they go. Where are you going with that one, Mr. President? Where are you happening? Pilgrim says, I'm mean. He's playing the heel. Kayfabe. Love it. Oh, I see. Oh, shoot is SHOOT, not shoot like parachute. Okay, I got it. Very interesting. The Canada thing, he's just doing that just to dick around. Nobody cares about Canada. No, nobody even understands or cares about tariffs. They don't understand what tariffs are. They don't know what it means. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It just sounds good. But where are you going with this, Mr. President? Seriously. I mean, Elon, does anybody think Elon is great, but we might be getting a little tired of this. Where are we going? Whose show is it? Where does this go? You start off with something big. You got Christy Nome. She's got her hat on and her makeup. Soul says DJT speculated everything. Pops Biden signed with AutoPen, maybe invalid. You don't use AutoPen, maybe it's not even valid. He had no idea what the hell he was doing, DJT. Legal perspective, what are you going to do? Bring him back? Mr. President, what? Joe Biden, did you know about that pen? I sure did. Why'd you use it? Because I was tired. I could have used a rubber stamp. I knew about every single one of those things. Are you sure? Absolutely. Okay, you're witness. Anybody else? What do you want to do with that? That ain't going nowhere. Where do you think it's going? These things don't go anywhere. Get it through your head. We don't even finish up. Are we done with the raids? Is that it? Are we done with the border? Is that it? Are we done building the wall? Is that it? What are we doing? And you think they're going to do what? With the AutoPen, bring him back? If you're going to bring Joe back, indict him. The hell with the AutoPen. What do you want to do? And I'm not yelling at you, but what do you want to do? See, this is a part I don't understand. I don't understand this. Indict him. Who gives a about the AutoPen? That's not even. What are you going to do? Undo it? Well, it's all void ab initio. Well, which one of these pardons? Was it the Liz Cheney pardon? Was it the Jim Biden pardon? Was it? Who's gonna investigate this? Jim Jordan? He doesn't do anything now. What are you talking about? Forget the AutoPen. Forget it. Bring him back and indict him for selling his office. He doesn't have immunity. This is Joe Biden. You got it? It doesn't matter. Now, some other things. First, I want to get this one out of the way because it's Jim Brewer. And Jim Brewer is a dude who is a comedian, And Jim Brewer just found geoengineering. And he's in St. Pete, and we don't call them chemtrails. We never call them chemtrails. If you call them, the best is Dane Wigington from geoengineeringwatch.org. This is the Bible. He has been around since day one. I've been talking about this for, I don't even know how long I've been talking about it, because it's been there. Now, apparently, Jim Brewer, who does that, he's very funny. He just noticed this.
Hey, Governor DeSantis. Today, when I get up in St. Petersburg, it was clear blue sky, and I started watching all the planes spraying. Now, I know the FAA knows who's flying. I'm pretty sure the governor can figure out who's flying and spraying and creating these fake clouds in the sky.
They're not clouds.
I even got footage of that plane spraying.
We're with you, Jimmy.
So, Governor of Florida and Florida officials, what are we doing about this?
Better late than never, Jimmy.
And why don't you start explaining exactly what it is?
There you go. Better late
Clear
than
blue
never.
sky. Look at all the lines from the planes. I watched them all, and some of them stop spraying after a while, and they restart.
Yep.
Can we have an explanation and a stopping of this, please?
There we go. Now, I'm glad. I think we'll be getting to that maybe eventually. Next, you think the auto pen? Put the auto pen over there. I cannot tell you how long I've been talking about geoengineering. My beloved wife will tell you, for the love of God, don't. I'm driving. Look, there it is. I feel like who is it that from Close Encounters? What's it? The actor, where he looks and he sees the things, and he sees the flat potatoes or the mashed potatoes. You understand what I'm saying? I've been talking about this forever. I have been talking about this and screaming about this, and I don't understand. Nobody cares. Even the climate activists. I one time was at a car wash, and I told the guy, I said, "Look, do you see that? Oh yeah." I played one for the other day of the nozzles that went off. Even my good friend Anthony Cumia, who, by the way, did a wonderful dissertation anent and regarding Bill Burr, who's a moron, who somehow figures out politics. And he's just imbued with this incredible, inane wit. And he is able to opine because he believes that Elon Musk is a Nazi, and people are, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. So to show you, again, what I've learned is, I don't know. It's like being in a house. And I say, hey, do you smell that? No, what is it? It's burning. Something's burning. And I think it's love. I think Kenny Rogers said it. And then later on, it gets thicker. And it gets more powerful. And it gets more noxious. I say, hey, don't you smell that? No, you don't smell that? And then the smoke starts to waft into the room and say, don't you see this? No. And then flames start coming from and then beams fall. And I said, do you tell me you don't see this? No. You don't smell it. You don't see it. No. That's what I felt about geoengineering since day one. So can Biden approve chemtrails with the auto pen? Very funny, very witty. Thank you. We don't know who they are. I have been asking. There was suggestion that this might have been put into the actual plane engine mix, the gasoline mix, or maybe some planes didn't know. We don't know. In any event, it's fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, Bailey says, keep being you, Lionel. Thank you, Bailey. Thank you so much. This has been something that has been I don't even know how long I've been talking about this. I don't know how long. People like Alex Jones and others, There we were, and we were called crazy. But now all of a sudden, Jim Brewer, God bless him, just realized this, just saw this. I was on Anthony's show one time, Cumia, good man. And he said, I said, well, those are, I see the picture, here's a plane, here's a B-52. I said, those are condensation trails. That's water vapor, but they just go away. They don't spread out over England and forever hide and then later on, I think the one time afterwards, he says, I got to hand it to you. I'm a believer now. I'm a believer. I can see here if you try. Okay, next. Very, very, very important. Very critical. Very. Pam Bondi's performance today and what I want to discuss regarding her performance. And I want you to listen very carefully. And I want you to listen to what I say, because I've always liked what she's doing. But whoever is advising her, whoever's advising the president, has absolutely no idea what they're doing. None. I will provide you with an adumbration, a review, a distillation of such. But first, people are talking about, things are great. No, credit card debt. People are going crazy over this stuff. They don't know what to do. Listen, and listen carefully to this important and very critical news. Listen to me. Are you drowning in debt? You're not alone. New reports show the average person is buried under $8,674 in credit card debt, with total consumer debt soaring to a staggering $104,215, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. It's a financial crisis, and without a real solution, many will keep spiraling deeper. That's why I want to introduce you to a powerful secret weapon that has helped so many regain control. They specialize in consolidating all your debts into one manageable monthly payment, and even negotiate a settlement so that you can pay less than you actually owe. Think about this. They've already settled over $275 million in debt. Think about that. Helping people break free in an average of just 28 months. I've personally recommended their services to friends and clients who needed a way out, and now I'm bringing it straight to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. So don't wait. Book a free consultation today, right now, at NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. The link is right under the title here. It's time to take back control of your finances. Act now. Get out of debt and start living the life you deserve. Before we begin, let me tell you what I would do. Today, on two different instances, Pam Bondi appeared on the Maria Bartiromo show. And Maria Bartiromo is very good. I don't watch it. Because you almost get to the point where it's interesting, and then we think, okay. It's like it's almost there, but it's not. It's almost there, but they always pull it back. Remember, they during that whole election denying thing, she was there, and I don't know what she did, and now they told her, we love you and everything, but just kind of, okay, fine. So this is what she said at one particular point, and listen to how Maria Bartiromo refers to the MAGA crowd, which is you, like you're some kind of a moron.
MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th.
You see, she sounds stupid. The MAGA crowd is upset because they know more about Epstein. I like this look, too. The MAGA looks like Lisa Loopner. Remember that for the Gilda Radner and Bill Murray? Noogies and the MAGA group is upset. These MAGA people, how they get the MAGA. Excuse me, Maria Bartiromo. I know this may not seem like a big deal to you. We being, first of all, we don't like this MAGA group. But listen to this, and this is one of the, and I'm sorry, You knew this was coming. Listen to this question again and the answer.
The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th investigation. Are you going to give us any more information on these two issues?
Sure. And first to the Epstein, I'm mad that I didn't have more information.
Did she look mad? Did she look mad to you? Be honest with me. Did she look mad? Is that the way? Is that the way to be mad?
On Epstein, I was given 200 pages of documents. I've asked Director Patel. He came in after that, of course. I'd asked for those documents
You're the Attorney General.
prior to Kash coming in. Kash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why
You're the Attorney General.
I didn't receive all those documents, and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence, and Kash is going to give me a deadline on when he can go through that to protect.
Look at Kash. Look at this face. Look like he's thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh my God. I'm gonna unload right now. Oh my God. Oh God, what is this over? I can't even get up. Kash, by the way, very interesting.
Of course, the victims of sex trafficking who are wrapped into this.
Wait a minute. Be careful with this. Many of these sex trafficking victims have already settled. They don't want to have anything to do with this. And I'm not so sure how many. I'm certain there were, but because we don't know.
And he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can,
As much as we
to
can.
the American people, because they deserve to know. Same with January 6th. We're all working on JFK right now.
Wait.
We will
JFK?
be working on Martin Luther King. All
What?
of these things that the president promised, we will be doing. They can try to hide documents from us, but they can't. Might take a little longer. We will find them, and we will release them to the American people. It's transparency.
We don't want the documents. Warren Ocasio says JPEG's swatting event too close to too close to home. Literally, bruh. The rest of my comments were not allowed. Okay. Well, there you go with that one. Now, by the way, the swatting is getting out of control. Let me show you the second installation of this, and then we'll break this thing down for you. This is the second installment of Pam Bondi. Good person. Good person. Good person. Very thorough, very smart. I never in any way am suggesting either her competence or her wherewithal or her honesty. No.
People were locking up on that. We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out, because we're coming after you. Wow. And if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
So,
Okay. First of all, enough with this Tesla shit. All right, pardon my French. I'm so sick of this. They're attacking Teslas. They're snatching children. We've got crime. We've got fentanyl coming over still. Nothing has abated. Nothing. What is this? You know what people are saying? Oh, because it's Elon. Is that it? Oh. So you care about this. So you're going to what? You're going to get to the bottom of this? Hope there's no documents involved in that one. And there's a picture of Trump with Elon and the kid. He's on the front lawn and Listen, I think Elon is great. Enough with this Tesla stuff. Enough. We've heard it. There's so much stuff out there. Follow up on what you did day 2 or 3 with Kristi Noem the hat and going and finding people who killed, like the cop in Newark, or where was it, New Jersey, who was killed by some kid. That's what we don't care about this. Elon Musk has got insurance. We'll get to the bottom. I think they got some tranny or something. I don't know what it was. Enough with the Tesla. Enough with this. For the love of God. And if you touch a Tesla, just residential burglaries, grand theft auto. I mean, it's Why are we doing all of these ads for Tesla? We got the Tesla at the White House. We got the Tesla over here. Okay. And then people are saying, well, Joe Biden, had a Range Rover, whatever the hell it was. You may not like what I have to say. Enough with Tesla. I've heard it. There's other stuff that is really important. There are kids right now. We need task forces helping kids who have been picked up, snatched, kidnapped, kids who are just into the night here in this country. There are people still roaming around, these catch and release people in our city. Who cares about this? I know it's been 53 days. And also, do you really have time to go on Maria Bartiromo? You're playing to your crowd. We know you're doing good. I don't, I'm sorry. Let Maria come if she wants. You come to the Department of Justice, talk to me, and we'll talk about that. Next. Now, I want you to listen to me. And I know you know this, but I'm going to say it for a lot of people who might be out there who don't know this, okay? We don't want documents. I'm going to say this again to you. There is nothing in a document that is going to help us get to the bottom line, get to the bottom of the Epstein case. I'm going to say this again to you. I'm going to say it again. And I want you to listen real good and real careful like, okay? This is your friend talking to you. I love you. I don't know where it came that somebody was worried about documents. I don't know where I have no idea where people had the idea that we need to get documents. We'll get to the bottom of this once we get the documents. Because you see, everything is in a document. It's in a file somewhere. Did you know that? Yeah, it's in a file. Did you know that? It's in a file. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Here is the issue again, and I'm going to say this again, and this is critical because people I don't think really understand. Number one, the only two questions I have that are not in documents are who killed him, and that includes on whose orders on them, who killed him, and whom did he work for? Was it Mossad, CIA, MI6, combinations thereof? That's it. Then you could also ask, where's the information, the data? It's long gone. It was gone from the moment it happened. It's not sitting in a cardboard box somewhere. Hey, look at this hard drive here. I think this is... No, it doesn't work like that. Who killed him? Who killed him? Pam Bondi, do you believe, based upon what you've seen, that this was a the S word, which I can't say, but you know what I mean. Do you believe that? Question number one. Not in the documents. The documents are... Number two. You think this is a lone wolf? No. You think he worked? You think the connection between Ehud Barak, Les Wexner, himself, everything there. Who was his lawyer? Dershowitz. You don't see, seriously, you don't see maybe, I don't know, a little connection to what could be Israel? Does anybody care about that? No. So you know what? If you can't answer that, forget the box. Forget the cartons and I don't care. We're not going to find anything else. You say there was 120, 200, how many 100? I don't know. Some of these women, as you know, were not underage. Some of them were doing it completely voluntarily. And many of them settled. And they don't want to come forward. So if you think that, and look, God bless you, but that ain't going to happen. You know it and I know it. Because anybody who says it's in the documents. Second, JFK, there's no files available. Edie Crowley said, Mr. L, just for a laugh, I went to Mass and sat in the back. Couldn't understand why on the podium there was a picture of a guy with an afro. I have been painting. Turns out it was a halo on a saint icon. Interesting. That's good. I like that. And you thought that's very funny. Very funny. And thank you for that. JFK, Pam, there's nothing in the files. MLK, there's nothing in the files. Hey, look at this. I got the file. Page 5. It's right here. Lucien Sarti, badge man, worked by or hired by Carlos Marcello because of his Marseille connection. Came in through Mexico, used a frangible bullet. Here's a picture of him. Here's his badge. Here he had before. And he was the one, and there was a conspiracy. You think you're going to find it out? Seriously, what do you think you're going to find? Nothing. Forget that. I want to know about crime. Let me ask you this. If I ask you a question, if I said the following name to you, if I said to you, Patrice Cullors, Cullors, she's got one of those Oreo cookie, those mole things, kind of like Aaron Neville has. She was the head of BLM. Whatever happened with that money? She's 41 years old. Remember when Candace Owens went to her home and was knocking on the window or door, and she was crying and wouldn't let her in? Chris Cox weighs in and says, America is one of those responsible for the chaos of the last 8 years. Frog March. No more waiting. No more names. No more talk. We want action. At 8 p.m. this eve, you will see my piece drop, as it were, regarding the blood of Mayorkas. How Mayorkas needs to be frog marched, as you say, instanter. Absolutely. Positively. Also, I did one today about, did you hear Pelletier? Did you hear this story? Oh, this is a good one. That's why you got to, because not only is it interesting, this was what am I trying to say? This is the mayor. No. The chief of police, or was in charge of not only the Las Vegas shooting and the sniper shooting, but also Maui, Lahaina, and now this new thing working with Diddy. Oh, it's interesting. Pelletier. Check that one out. That one broke kind of sort of today. And at 8 o'clock, Mayorkas. Now, January 6th, what do you want to know about January 6th? What do you want to know? Do you think Kash Patel is going to turn over those individuals of his bureau who were involved in this? No. Should he? I don't know. What do you want to know about January 6th? What do you want to know? Tell me. What do you want to know? You think there's documents somewhere? Do you think there's a box somewhere? This was just recently. What do you want to know? What are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to show how the government turned on average citizens who did nothing but show up without a parade permit? Well, do you? What was it? I love Pam Bondi. I love our president, but stop tantalizing. Don't bring it up. America will forget it. Go back to what you were doing and go and show how you're going into homes and you're going into various places and how you're arresting bad people now, doing bad things. I can't say it enough. There was something which is, and by the way, BLM and Antifa. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. It's a shock troop. I don't know why I got to tell you this. This is just all nonsense. We're kind of we're sort of like 53 days, and I think we ran too fast, or maybe we thought this was a sprint, and turns out it was a marathon. I don't know. You've got people who are, God bless Witkoff and others. You're going to Russia and you're going to try to undo. Do you know this story? I'm changing the subject. Are you familiar? Are you wanting to go back to the Maidan thing? No. Let me give you another example. Another story. Last night, Mrs. L went to an event here in New York City at the Diane von Furstenberg salon or showroom here in New York City. And it was quite the event. Cut up, by the way, says, buy large mansions and nails and weave diamonds. I guess what you're talking about, the color. There's always a code with your things. You and Pilgrim should sit across from each other and just code each other. I know what you're saying. You're absolutely right. So last night I went to this event and I pull up in the Yugo. It's a stretch, of course. Raul says, can Wendy Williams overturn her guardianship? Don't you love Raul? Raul will just out of nowhere will say, well, all of a sudden, are they going to re-up the CERN? And by the way, why doesn't Bose get the Higgs boson and is that the God particle? Out of nowhere. It's fantastic. Thank you. Can't she overturn her guardianship? That's another story. Did a great piece with Diane Diamond on that. Raul's fantastic. Has some thought, what was Harry S. Truman's middle name really S? Out of his oven? No, fantastic. Now let's go back to this. So last night I show up to pick her up, and I've got the Yugo, the stretch. And as I pulled up, this is true. People are walking out. All these women are walking around. They're surrounding, and they're looking at the license tag because they thought it was an Uber or something, but they were admiring the car. So it was a big event. And it was something in preparation for or support of the equality model. And I want to explain what that is. First of all, I don't like the name. It's big in Sweden. It works like this. It basically provides for the legalization and the decriminalization of prostitution. Okay? But, and this is important, but it's for the worker, the prostitute, so to speak, and not the John, not the other folks. And what it does is it decriminalizes it from her point of view, but not from others. And I think okay, that's fine. And what happens is, because of the name, people don't ever read through it. People have this idea that, well, I think sex work should be legal. It is legal. Not only does it decriminalize, but you also fast track and help these women sometimes have their cases expunged, the expunction of the sealing and reversal. Anyway, so Diane von Furstenberg, who was there, and she came around to this. She's a kind of industry leader in this. And it's the most important story there is. So there is this world out there that nobody understands. What's it called? Frizzle? Drizzle. I thought it was frizzle. Do you know what drizzle is? Drizzle, going back to our first part of this is when we talked about kids and school and the phones. Drizzle works as follows. A young girl becomes enamored by a boy, a man, somebody. And he is adorned in swag and bling, or whatever you want to call it this week. And he tells her, in order for you to show your love to me, you've got to do everything in your power to make sure that I maintain living in this particular type of style. So you've got to go out and you've got to earn your keep by virtue of doing this. Okay, you've got to go out and prostitute yourself. This is called drizzle. And girls will say, okay, you've got kids 12 years old, thinking about, this is great, I'll be a sex worker. OnlyFans here, sex worker here. No idea what we're talking about. No idea. Not you. I didn't know this. Mrs. L does. It is a problem that is bigger than Tesla or the documents of the Epstein case that aren't going to say anything. We are in such a state of affairs. By the way, I also could say that the First Lady, Melania Trump, is doing wonderful things. Be Best campaign. She's really working to try to make it. So what I think the president and DOJ and Kash and everybody needs is to sit back. They even had a picture today of Kash Patel backstage, and they said, and now the head or the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and they opened up the drape. I'm thinking, I think these people are getting into this whole thing about, hey, look at me, I'm a star. I saw a picture today, which you are not going to understand, but I'm going to say to you, it was Alina Habba. Alina Habba on her social media apparently took a picture of herself, a new picture where she is trying to looking stylish. Look at me. This is the counsel to the president. Imagine not Lloyd Cutler. What was his name? I'm trying to think one of Lloyd Garment or, one of like Nixon's counsels. What was his name? There was a great one too, like Barrington Cosgrove, or they always had these wonderful lawyer, the hoary gentleman with a bow tie. They look very, very vulnerable. And then you've got this one who looks like she's doing a Vogue cover. Let me explain something to you. First and foremost, I know we're glad you're here, Mr. President. And I know that I will back you up with anything you think is important, so long as you want it. But if you have somebody in your team who is trying to out-glitz, out-glam, and outshine the other members of the team, specifically that of women, this is not a good deal. It makes you must act as though you are humbled, honored by I can imagine Jean Kirkpatrick when she was, I think, UN ambassador, if she was doing like a glam shot or something. I mean, do you see what's going on here? I don't understand. Now, remember, it's no big deal because, nobody, it's better than Biden. I understand that. But I'm getting the distinct impression that everybody's kind of let to go on their own. And that's why I say, no. Kash, come here, my friend. Kash, first, we're going to work on the way you look at things. Now, I know Kash has got a bit of a strabismus. He's got his eyes, got that wandering eye thing. But sometimes Kash doesn't understand what he's supposed to be. Say what you want about Bill Barr. He acted like the Attorney General. John Mitchell acted. Merrick Garland, no. And Pam Bondi, on her worst day, could not be 1% as bad as Merrick Garland. But these are unforced errors. These are unforced errors. We have got to have a tier of, I want to know what's going on. Your best person available right now, Mr. President, is Tom Homan. Tom Homan gets the job done. Tom Homan gets the job done. And another thing, I want you to understand something, sir, and this is important. I did something this morning, a show on transgendered. Transgender, it's not just my opinion. I cited a number of, in fact, I'm going to put it in the newsletter thing. You cannot believe the number of people who are severely mentally ill and have serious problems. And you might say, well, the reason why transgenders have serious problems, I think it's like 60%. Put it this way. The amount of people who have tried self-harm compared to regular communities is like 40% versus 2% or something along those lines. And the argument is that, well, the reason why is because these people suffer by virtue of their transgender status. Or The reason why that's true is because they are mentally ill, and that's why they're transgender. I don't know. Chicken or the egg, or whatever it is. The president needs to have a special blue chip top tier committee, psychiatrists, whatever, not necessarily loading the deck, to deal with to respond to you about the issue, the problem of transgenderism. Before 2013, the DSM-5 called it something with a body disorder. It was a psychiatric disorder. Now it's called gender dysphoria. It's kind of like it's a bit not innocuous, but it's kind of it's dysphoria as opposed to euphoria. It's dysphoria. Utopia, dystopia. Dystopia, datopia. All right. It would drive these people absolutely nuts if you had a blue ribbon committee basically addressing the problems of and the plight of transgenderism. You'd go crazy. This McGuire would go nuts. Dylan said, it's not a mental illness. Well, yes, it is. Because this would be the issue. Believe me when I'm telling you. Do Americans want to talk about Israel? No. Do they care about Mahmoud? No. Do they care about Ukraine? No. Do they care about Epstein? No. Do they care about J6? Huh? JFK? Huh? MLK? Huh? RFK? Huh? BTK? Huh? No idea. None. Do they care about Teslas? No. What do they care about? Real easy stuff. Real easy stuff. Like transgenders. Oh, yeah. Let McGuire talk. Just let them. I promise you. And then show these people, and this congressperson, reading stories to little kids. Reading. Oh, yes. Oh. That's it, my friends. That is what we're talking about. Let me explain to you what I want to do. It's a very simple thing. I want to win. Okay? I'm going to be very, very simple with this. Very, very simple. You've got to understand, I get the impression there's no one in charge. Nobody. It's kind of like just scattered. You do your thing and you do your thing. Hey, we're going to go to the... why did he go to the DOJ today? Why? Okay, couldn't hurt. Why? What did you accomplish? I want to make sure that the Department of Justice does not do to anybody else what it did to me. Nah, too personal. What do you want to do? Pam Bondi looked fine with her white. She needs to make sure she has charts. You're pointing to things. Be in a room with books or I don't know, but just point to it. This is serious stuff. Let me see if I can explain this. We don't care what Alina Habba is wearing. We don't care about Kristi Noem. We don't care about Boebert. We don't care about Pam. We don't care about their clothes. We don't care. It means nothing to us. We want to know, what are you going to do? I would have had a 5-point tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I would have shown this is our plan. We have this on our website, doj.org, .gov, whatever it is. This is what we're going to do. And when the Attorney General says, and if you put your hand on a Tesla, by God, wait a minute. That's a local, wait a minute. That's just this is a federal crime? Seriously. Vandalism? Do you know how many cars are stolen from car dealerships or damaged? Or remember Goodfellas where Henry set these cars up? It looks like we're going to help our buddy Elon out. It's just stupid. It's stupid. You refer that to local jurisdictions. If there's a federal issue, okay, fine. Teslas? Why? I'm not saying it's not a crime. Why are you doing that? I want to talk about kids. I want to talk about fentanyl. What about the opioids? Am I wasting my time? The Senate passed the fentanyl ad. The Senate, 16 Dems. Yeah, fentanyl act. Yeah. That's what you should be doing. Every time you speak, every time you get up, every time. This is what I would tell my cabinet. Imagine this is the last time. Imagine a meteor hit the building, God forbid, and this is the last thing anybody will ever have. And your last words, what would they be? What would they be? Talking about Tesla or giving a 5-point position? Here's what we're going to do. Here's how many kids we've rescued. I've worked with Tom Homan. We've worked with this. We work with ICE. Whatever it is. We have to go after the drug traffickers. You're the Attorney General. You're Griffin Bell. You're John Mitchell. You're Ramsey Clark. Remember him? You're Bill Barr. You're just go down the list. You're Kleindienst. I mean, this is huge. Am I wasting my time? I think I'm wasting my time. I don't think anybody wants to hear. Somebody wants to talk about the auto pen. Soul, what do you think is going to be done about the auto pen? What do you think? I love you, man. What's going to happen? Tell me. What are you going to? You're wasting your time with that. You're wasting your time with that. Well, somebody said that this man sold his office to the highest bidder through his drug-addicted son. Burisma went and told everybody and bragged about, I don't care about the auto pen. That's the least of it. What about the documents he still has? Remember the China and University of Pennsylvania? What about auto pen is no big deal. Tiger Woods stooping Don's ex-wife is more relevant than that. Believe me, that'll get more traction. We have to prioritize. We can't go after every little squirrel thing. Today was a missed opportunity. Missed. I want people to leave. Every time I speak, if I'm your Attorney General, you're going to say, holy shit. Oh my God, we got to leave. Here's how we're doing right now. And by the way, whatever happened to those people who were getting the Social Security who were 300 years old? Somebody cashed those checks. See, they never follow up. We don't care about the boxes of the JFK. Pam Bondi is going to go through and solve JFK. Stop it. We don't have enough. We don't have a clear message here. We don't have a clear message. I would have this thing squared away. Everybody would have their marching orders in a heartbeat. So, Pilgrim Media, Cut Up Chatter, thank you so much for that. You are the best. Let me see who else is here. Our good friend, Soul 76 Can, thank you so much. Bailey and Warren Ocasio. Edie Crowley. By the way, it's good to show up to a mass. Good for you. Chris Cox, everybody. And thank you for your time and effort. Remember, if President Trump needs me, I will never, ever, I want to have a special phone number that only I have. And I tell him this is what we need to do. This is what needs to be done. Right now, the Arrest Mayorkas Now video has dropped. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She's got some great stuff. Oh, she did an interview today that is going to be, it's going to blow your socks off. Very serious folks. Very serious, but with stories that will just, she has told me stories, and I've met some of the most incredibly brave people whose lives are, you don't know, you can't believe what people have been through. You can't believe. And they look just like you, like everybody else. The absolute horror that they've been through. It's horrible. Big Dick Daniel says, no, I won't start calling on or out. The utmost leaders handlers of POTUS when we vote Uncle Lenny's point of view. Thank you. Remember, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. I want to make sure every moment that we spend is focused correctly. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious night. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Be safe. Be great. Thank you for this. And until we meet again, by the way, I think our numbers are kind of like kept down. The numbers have been very, very low. They used to be far bigger. I'm wondering if somebody is suppressing our message because maybe we're saying the right thing. I don't know. One never knows. In any event, my friends, have a great and glorious night. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.